you guys, welcome to Everything Stitching. In this video I'm going to show you guys how to make another granny square, because granny squares are fun to make and they're so versatile. You can use them to make many different crochet projects. So I wanted to show you guys this other new one that I think everyone has to try making at least once in their lifetime, if you crochet. Okay, so for this one, you're gonna need 3 different colors. I went through my yarns and I'm like, I don't know which ones. I have a lot of cute colors and I think I'm just gonna go with these 4. Okay, so I don't really know. I think I'm gonna do this purple, pink, blue, green. I was originally gonna do it in a different order, but I think this is what I'm gonna just stick with and stop thinking about it. Okay, so here's my order: purple, pink, blue, green. 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason why you want to know that is because you're going to be working with all 4 colors throughout this entire granny square. So you're not going to be tying off and restarting or anything like that. You're going to finish the entire granny square using all 4 of them. So just keep track of what color number yours are. So what I'm going to do, just because sometimes you can get caught off guard of what you want to do, I'm going to keep my yarns in order just past this board right here, so that way when I know it's color number 1, color number 2, color number 3, color number 4, I have it in order and I can easily figure out which one I'm on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a granny square and we're going to just have a spiral of all 4 colors together to make this granny square. It's going to be really cute. So what you're going to want to do is get your first color, and we know it's our first color because it's in the first spot. Okay, and they're all medium weight yarn, and then I'm using a 5mm hook today. Have fun with which size you want to use. No right or wrong. Okay, so we're going to do a slip knot to get started. Okay, and then we are going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now we're going to put our hook in the first chain and we're going to make a slip knot to form a tiny, tiny, tiny little circle. So it's kind of like a magic circle, but we're doing it this way for this particular one. So we're going to pull through and then pull through again, right? So now we just have this little tiny little situation circle. Now we're going to put our hook into the center of the circle that we just made, not into any of the stitches, but the actual center of this circle, okay? And then we're going to single crochet in the center right now. What's kind of tricky is you're going to have that little tail in the way for a minute, but just kind of move the tail out of the way. Okay, single crochet into it. Then we're going to do a half double crochet into the center. So we're going to yarn over, go inside the center, pull through, yarn over, don't get caught in your tail, and then pull through all 3. Okay, so now we have the half double crochet, and now we're going to do 2 double crochets into the circle. And basically this is what our pattern is going to be for this whole granny square. Okay, go through the hole. If your thread starts to, or your yarn starts to unwind a little, that's the problem we encounter when we don't take good care of our yarn. All right, so that's what the pattern is going to basically be, is a single crochet, half double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. Okay, so we did that. Okay, we did a single crochet, half double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then we're going to bring up a loop with that last stitch that we did, make a big size loop with this color, and just leave him hanging there, okay? And then we're going to grab our second color. Okay, it's a mess. Told you that I don't take care of my yarns. Okay, then we're going to get our second color, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 1 into the center of our circle that we just did. Okay, go like this, and we're going to chain 1. Okay, and now that we chained 1, we're going to single crochet now into that center hole. Single crochet, then we're going to do a half double crochet. I think you guys are noticing this pattern, right? And then 2 double crochets. And as we're doing this, we're kind of just moving it so that way all of our stitches are going to be next to each other. And as we start working, we can start to get rid of those tails if we need to. So that was 1 double crochet, and then the second double crochet. And then we're going to do the exact same thing where we pull up on our loop so we don't lose that particular one, right? Just like we did with this one, because we're going to come back to that in a bit. And you're going to see how my pink yarn is a bit thicker than my purple, even though they are both medium weight. But you know what? That's okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the exact same thing with color number 2. We're going to insert our hook into it, and we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet into the center, and then we're going to do a half double crochet into the center, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets. So remember, this is our pattern for every color of this first row. Okay, and then here's our last double crochet of this color. Same thing, we're going to pull up so we have a nice size loop, and we're going to move our colors so we have room for our last color of our spiral. Okay, now we're going to insert our hook and get our 4th color. Sorry, this one started to unravel. I'm just going to give us a clean cut right there. Okay, so same thing where we're going to chain 1 and then single crochet, okay, then half double crochet. And remember, as you're doing it, you're kind of just moving your color into the spot that it needs to be in. And as you start to work through these spirals, it's going to make a lot more sense. And I'm pretty sure that you guys can probably start to see what's going to be happening with these colors to make the spiral. But keep in mind, it might be a little funky on this first round, but it's going to start to make sense. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got all 4 of our colors. I'm a little upset at the fact that my purple is not as thick, but I think once I start like working it, it's gonna look good. Okay, so there's our 4 colors. Now what we want to do is we want to find the first stitch of our second color. So we need to find 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like way in there. Make sure that you pull that out. Okay? And then what you're gonna do is just start with your purple now. And that's why we just left big loops, right? Is because now we're just gonna continue going. So we need to find 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our 4th one, way down in there. Okay, so you just make sure that you find the first stitch, okay? So once you find the first stitch, you're going to do what we've been doing this entire time, right? So we're gonna do our single crochet, okay, so now that we've found our first stitch of the second color, okay, because that's what we're going to be doing it into, now we're going to do, here's where our actual pattern is going to be for the rest of it. So that first pattern was what was for the first row, and now this is going to be the pattern for this row. So we found our first stitch of it, and what we're going to do is do 2 double crochets into this first stitch. So I need to make sure I get my tail out of the way. And I need to do 1 and 2 double crochets into that same stitch. So into that first stitch we did 2, okay? Then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Okay. Oh, don't get your hook caught in all these these different loops and whatnot. Okay, so then we did 1 double crochet into that, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets into this stitch. Just remember though to be aware of all the different loops that you have hanging out, so that way you don't catch any of them as you're going. So then that's that row, okay? So now you're going to pull up again, and then you're going to put your hook into your next color, which is your pink. And we're going to do the same thing that we did in the last row. Okay, so we're going to find the first one, so we're going to count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you find your 4th stitch, which would be the first one, you got to get your hook. Now this one might be a little bit difficult, especially if you're doing what I'm doing and you're working with different the same weight of yarn but different brands, because even with it being the same, it's slightly different. So if that happens, it can make it a bit tricky. So we're going to do 2 double crochets in that first stitch, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in this stitch. And then we're going to be done with the second color. I'm going to pull it up and just leave it to the side. And then we're going to switch over to our 3rd color. Okay. once again, count your stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, find that fourth one, and you're going to do 2 double crochets into it. Okay, and if you can't find it, you gotta just kind of work it. And I find that it's usually the most difficult on this first round because we were like fitting it into the holes, right? Or to that center hole. And I find that it can be a bit trickier, on this round, but it's not too difficult. Just kind of shove it in there, make it work, right? Okay, so then we're gonna do 1 double crochet into the next one, and then 2 double crochets in this one. Then you're going to pull up and leave that to the side. So as you can see, it's forming now, right? Okay, now we're going to grab our 4th color for this round and find it, the first 4 of it when it started, and that first stitch is right there. So now I'm going to get hook, make sure it goes under, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets into this stitch like we have been doing, and then 1 double crochet, and then 2. Oop. So that was only 1 because my hook slipped out. And 2. And then pull out your. So there we go. So now we'll have to pull that one through. That's because this one is a little weak, but that's okay. We can pull all that and make that tighter later. But as you can, as you can see, it's starting to form now, our little spiral. So we're just going to keep this going until we make the size of our granny square that we want to make. Okay, so then our first color again is going to be purple. So we get started on our purple. Alrighty, and here we go. Okay, so now we start with our first color again, which is purple, and what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 double crochets in the first stitch again. So now we're going to make sure we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gotta just pull it a bit. Okay. And we're going to do 2 double crochets. And basically this pattern is kind of the same now, other than the fact that we're going to be adding stitches in order to increase as we go along, right? So that was 2 double crochets into the first stitch, which is always going to be the same for this pattern. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So basically every time you go around, you're just increasing the number of the number of double crochets in each stitch by 2. So the first row we did 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, then 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets at the end, right? So then on this round it's 2 double crochets, 3 singles because we added 2, and then 2 double crochets into the last stitch. So There's a bit of math involved in this particular granny square. Some granny squares are nice because you kind of just like mindlessly work at them. This one, you have to pay attention a bit more. Okay, so then we did our 2 double crochets in that one. Now we can pull up and leave it to the side. Now, as you noticed on that round, it was really easy to get your hook into everything. So it's always the initial round of working into that center, right? And then the first like real round when you are working off that is always the most difficult until you kind of get a feel for it, and then you're good. Okay, so now we're gonna start our pattern again of 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Trying to get him out of the way. And then we're gonna do 3 double crochets, and then we're gonna do 2 double crochets in the last stitch. So the first and last stitches of each color will have 2 double crochets, and then you're gonna have 1 double crochet in each stitch, growing by 2 stitches each row until you get to the size that you want. Okay? And then, let's see. Yeah, so basically that's what I'm gonna do until I get to the size that I want. So since this round it was 2 double crochets and then 3 singles, and then, well, 3 single double crochets right into each stitch, and then you do 2 doubles right here. Then the next one is going to be a double crochet into the next 5 stitches, right? Because you're increasing it by 2 every time. So it's a really simple pattern once you know what your pattern is. So what I'm going to do is just continue to work on this, and then I'm going to meet you guys back here once I have gotten this to the point or to the size that I want for this granny square, and then I'm going to show you excuse me, show you guys how to square it off, right? Because right now we're working in the round to make this spiral, but then once you're ready to like complete your granny square, you have to square it off, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to do that once I finish getting this to where I want to get it. So remember, keep track of your little your loops that you've made for yourself, so that way you're not catching it as you're going. Try and keep it somewhat clean so you're not getting too tangled. But it's a really fun granny square to make, just because of the amount of colors that you can work, and then if you have the yarn that's multicolored itself, and then it's really even more fun. So it's really cool. Anyways, okay, so there's that one, and then now I'm going to work on my 4th color of this round, and then I'm going to work on my next round. So let's just keep working at this, everyone, and I'm going to meet you guys back here once we've gotten to the size that we need. Okay, so I've done all the rows that I want to do on my particular granny square, and I ended up stopping at the point where I did 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, and then I did 7 double crochets in each stitch, and then the ending 2 double crochets. So that's where I stopped it at, to kind of just give it like a normal granny square size, like a 4 by 4 inch. So that's why I stopped there. But obviously you can keep going and you can make this thing huge and just have fun with it. I love this spiral, so I'm going to use this more often. I think it'd make some really cute like bags and purses and things like that. Okay, anyway, so here's how we do our finishing round. We're going to start with our first color, and for me color number 1 is my purple, so I'm going to get that one on my hook. And I'm going to start by doing 2 double crochets into this stitch like we have been doing this whole time whenever we start a row. So 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Okay. And then for the next stitch, we're going to do 1 double crochet. And then the next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. Okay. And then, oops, don't yarn over. And then for the next stitch, you're going to actually do a single crochet. Okay. And then you're just going to slip stitch that to the next one. And then you're going to pull that through and tie that one off. So color number 1 is done. And then color number 2 is our pink one. So I get that started and I'm going to do 2 double crochets into this stitch. And then in my next stitch, I'm going to do 1 double crochet. And then in my next stitch, I'm going to do a half double crochet. Sorry, it's getting tangled. And then the next one, I'm going to do single crochet. And then I'm going to slip stitch it into the next stitch. Pull that through. And then leave that hanging out, because we're going to go ahead and weave those ends in. So now I'm on my 3rd color, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch. And then a double crochet in the next stitch. And then a half double crochet. And then a single crochet and then slip stitch it into that one. Okay, and then for our last color, same thing, one last time where we're going to do 2 double crochets into this stitch. One double crochet in the next stitch. Half double crochet. And single crochet. And then slip stitch it into the next one. And then here we have it. So as you can see, that's our adorable looking granny square, spiral granny square. So now what I'm going to do, like we always do at the end of all of our granny squares, is we're going to go ahead and weave in the ends, which is always everyone's favorite, right? Sarcasm. Nobody likes it. Okay, so I'm just going to weave this in and out as I just work back through my colors. And put that in there. Right? So that's what we're just going to do. We're just going to go through and weave in all of our ends. And then we're going to be done. So I'll meet you back after I weave the last 3 colors in. Okay, you guys, here it is. Here is our spiral granny square. I mean, come on, right? I have no words other than this granny square is probably one of my favorites. I want to make a whole bunch more and then probably make another bag or something out of it, and just do like different colors and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's gonna look really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a ton more of these, and then I don't know, make some kind of video out of it showing you guys what I end up making. But please make these. Let me know what you guys make, the colors, the size, what you're gonna actually do with your granny squares. I would love to hear about it. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. See ya.